Jesse Allen here, being joined by Jason Steffel. He is the area product manager for Brevant Seeds for Iowa, Minnesota, and the Dakotas. And Jason's great to have you back on Market Talk this week. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, Jesse.
Jason, let's talk about the northern plains and the northwestern corn belt. Kind of get a crop update here, and I think just for starters, we know that that is the area of the U.S. that has been very dry. You kind of draw that line, diagonally through Iowa and go northwest of it, and we've seen really dry conditions here this year. How is the hot and dry weather here as we get into the month of August? How is that affecting our corn and soybean crops specifically? Because I know with soybeans, this is kind of that time period. This is the month when that bean crop is made.
Yeah, and when you look at corn and soybeans, Jesse, it's really goes back to the stage of development. And we're in the reproductive stages right now. When you look at corn, at this stage of the game, given your listening area, I mean, we could be in that R3, R4, even beginning R5, and the pollination's been done. I mean, it's a good time for growers and consultants, agronomists to get out and take a look and see how the ear has developed. Because when you get to that R3, stage, which could be in some areas of our northern listening area here, is that it's still developing and may have some tip back, and there's that kernel loss, right? But when you get into really R4, it's about grain fill. Again, it's a pretty critical stage for corn right now that we need that moisture to help finish out that grain, and that adds the weight to the kernel, the density, as well as test weight going forward. Now on the soybean side of things, rain can help really maybe spur on some late season pods, on some fuller season varieties for your area, but it really comes back down to seed fill. And again, it's really a critical time, like as you mentioned already, for soybeans to get a little more moisture here. One thing that I'm optimistic about, at least recently, is maybe these cooler temperatures are helping us out. It's given the plants, both corn and soybeans, an opportunity to kind of recover a little bit. If they're stressed during the day, they're not getting out the photosynthates, the carbohydrates that they need to actively, help with the seed fill and overall size as well as weight of the kernel, the seed.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the cooler temperatures. And I think another thing that some folks have pointed to, maybe helping us out a little bit, is some of that smoke cover from the western wildfires. I mean, it's not pleasant to go out and breathe it, but it's maybe blocking some of that harsh sunlight, and that's maybe helped out our crops as well a little bit, Jason.
Yeah, there's two sides to that. Yeah, I mean, we kind of contribute maybe that smoke a little bit to some of the blocking, the radiation, the solar radiation that we're getting, help it keep things a little cooler for us, which is a blessing in a lot of ways. But we also got to worry a little bit too, is because we need that sunlight for photosynthesis, and that drives everything in corn and soybeans, any plant. I mean, that is the heart of energy and again, photosynthate production that helps drive all the metabolic activities that we have in the plant.
Well, I know, of course, you pointed to needing some rainfall in this first part of August is definitely very, very key. And we're continuing to watch the forecast and just see what we can get for rainfall across the northern plains. I'm curious, though, Jason, how is Brevant working together with retail to kind of manage some of these drought stressed crops right now?
I think it all starts with the knowledge of the products. We have to start there, and our retail product agronomists within Brevant, working with retailers and the consultants, agronomists around, just to set expectations by crop. And some of these that are really in areas with a lot of drought, a lot of pressure, a lot of stresses. We're going to have to monitor these going in here to September, and setting some expectations. We might have to monitor a certain product or by field. Maybe some timing applications. I'm sorry, more like harvest timing. Thoughts. Maybe put that earlier in the rotation. One of the other things, like last year with Southwest Minnesota, Northwest Iowa being very dry in 2020, there's a lot of people asking about products and drought tolerance that each product may have. And one of the things that Corteva, is proud with their technology is Aquamax. And Brevant does have a few products that has Aquamax technology. And that really helps. I mean, it's all about being drought tolerant. It really helps the plant to make the most of it and be most efficient with nutrients and water through the year. And a lot of factors and testing goes into those products. We don't give Aquamax ratings out to everyone. Only a select few that make it through the testing and get that rating. And we've seen over the years that they're tougher. Under these tough conditions, they're a tougher plant, and they get through those stresses a lot better.
Jason, any other final thoughts in regards to our crops across the northwestern corn belt you want to add today?
I don't at this point. I think I'm praying for rain like everybody else right now, and a nice rain to kind of continue and finish up the crop would be great. To add a lot of help with some stock quality, some seed fill in the soybeans, obviously, and I think that's where we're really at right now.
Well, you can find your local retailer, connect with their agronomists and more. Just go online to Brevant.com. With that, Jason Steffel with Brevant Seeds. Thanks for joining us today on Market Talk. We appreciate it.
Thank you.